In this Blender tutorial, I'll show you how to create this procedural crumpled paper material. And if you'd like to purchase the procedural material, you can get it with the links in the description on my Gumroad store and Patreon page. And in the tutorial, I'll show you how to join it together into this custom node group with lots of different custom settings to customize the material. So we have the scale value to change the size of the entire material. Then we also have the roughness value, so the roughness of the paper. And then we also have the base color for the paper. And then we have a bunch of different noise settings and Voronoi settings. So you can use this to customize the paper. So you can randomize the folds. So we have two different randomized values. We also have the scale values 1 and 2, and then also the detail value 1 and 2. So you can change the detail of the folds, and then that noise roughness value. And we also have some distortion value to make it more distorted, but you definitely don't want to turn up too much, because if you turn up too much, it doesn't really look like crumpled paper. But you can turn it up a little bit just to kind of distort it a bit. And then we also have the strength, the distortion, and then we also have some Voronoi settings. So we have the randomize for the Voronoi, we have the scale 1 and 2, we also have the detail for both Voronois, and then we also have the paper surface scale. So if I zoom in really close, you can kind of see there's a bit of a paper surface. So there's the scale of the paper surface, there's two different detail values for the paper surface, and then there's the crumples bump strength, and then the paper surface bump strength. And if you'd like to purchase all of my procedural materials, then you can check out my Ultimate Blender Procedural Material Pack, which comes with all my materials, and they're all pre-set up for Blender's asset browser with custom thumbnails, sorted catalogs, and customizable node groups. And to learn how to create more materials, you can check out my procedural material tutorial playlist. So now I'll show you what I have set up in the 3D viewport. So I went to the add menu and I added an icosphere, and right behind me on the add icosphere settings, I turned the subdivisions up to 6 so it is nice and smooth and round. And then I'm also going to add a plane, and I'll rotate the plane on the x-axis by 90 degrees, and I'll move it over, and I'll scale both of these objects down by 0.2, move it into the center, and I'm going to hit Ctrl A and apply the rotation and scale. Then I also added a camera and just pointed the camera at the objects, and if you go here to the object data properties with the camera selected, I turn the focal length up to 80 just to kind of zoom the camera in, and it makes things look a bit more flat. So I'll go into the rendered viewport mode, and so for the lighting I added in this row stock Lodge Airport 1K HDRI. So to add in the HDRI, once you download it, you can click on new to add a new world, and you can click on the yellow dot next to color, and you can choose the environment texture, and then click on the open button and open up the HDRI. So here's the HDRI that I'm going to be using. I downloaded the 1K HDR version from Polyhaven, and I'll have the link in the video description. So I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to turn the strength here to a 0.1, so it's not quite as bright. But it's still going to add a little bit of reflections to the scene and help it to look more realistic. So then what I did is added this area light, and over here on the object data properties, I left it as a white color. I have the power at 40 and the shape to disk, and I'm pointing it down on the object. And then to set the background transparent, I went here to the render properties, I opened up the film tab, and I checkmarked the transparent button, so that way you just can't see the HDR in the background, so it's not as distracting. And then also if I open up the color management, I'm going to set the view to filmic, and I'll set this look here to very high contrast to pop out the colors and make things look more contrasted and saturated. So I'm going to select the object, and I'll go over here to the shading workspace. So I have the 3D viewport right over here, and I'm in the rendered mode, and then I have the shader editor right here. So I'll just add a new material, and I'll just rename this crumpled paper. And then I will also be using the node regular add-on in the video. So if you don't have that enabled, you can click on edit to go to the preferences, and you can go to the add-ons tab, and you can search for node, and you can just enable the node regular add-on. So I'll show you how to use it in the video. And then I'm also going to click and drag and drop this material onto this other object, so they both have the same material. So I'm going to go to the add menu, and I'm going to search for a Voronoi texture, and I'll just preview the Voronoi texture. And on the F1, I'm going to change it to F2, and on the 3D, I'm going to turn it to 4D. Now the 4D gives us this W value, which we can use to randomize where the texture is. And then with the Voronoi selected, I'll hit Ctrl T, and that's using the feature of the Node Wrangler add-on, and it's going to add a texture coordinate mapping, and I'm going to put the object into the vector. So I'll just drag these nodes right down here. Now on the Voronoi, we can change the settings. So I'm going to turn the scale to a 13, and I'll leave the other settings how they are. Now what I want to do is distort the Voronoi with a noise texture, because right now you can kind of see like there's some little lines here, but I want to make those lines a bit more noisy so they look more random. So what I'm going to do is search for a noise texture, and I'll put this between the mapping and the Voronoi. Then what I'm going to do is search for a linear light node and put this after the noise texture. So what we can do is we can put the noise texture into color B, so we'll put the color into B, and then we'll take the mapping vector and put that into A. So now if the factor is turned to 0, it's not using the noise at all, but then as it turn the factor up more and more, the noise texture is distorting the Voronoi texture. So I'm just going to turn it to a 0.1, so the noise is distorting it a little bit. And then we can change the settings. So from 3D, I'll turn it to 4D, which will give us this W value to randomize it. And then I'll turn the scale to 5, which it already is. And the detail, I'll turn to 5 as well. And then I'll leave the other settings how they are. Now what I'm going to do is drag these nodes back, and I'll take the noise, the linear light, and the Voronoi, and I'll hit Control-Shift-D. So Control-Shift-D will duplicate the nodes, but keep the wires plugged up. And I'll now preview this Voronoi. So now what I'm going to do is take this W value, and I'm going to turn it to a 10, and I'll take the Voronoi W value and also turn it to a 10. So this is just going to randomize it, so now we have these folds and these folds, but the folds are different. Now what I want to do is mix them together, so I'm going to search for multiply, and I'm going to add the mixed color multiply, and I'll put the Voronoi distance into color A, and I'll put this Voronoi distance here into color B. So now when I preview this, you can see we're taking both of them and mixing them together. So that way we just have a lot more folds and just add a lot more detail. Now what I want to do is search for a bump node, so add a displacement bump, and we'll put this into the normal of the principled shader, and the multiply can go into the height via the bump. So let's just preview the principled shader, but it isn't very strong right now, so what I want to do is take the bump value and turn it to a 0.02, just a 0.02, so it's a lot bumpier. And then here, this filter width here, if I drag this, you can see it's going to kind of smooth the edges. So I'm going to turn it to a value of 5. And so that way, if I look closely here, those edges just look a little bit smoother instead of being super sharp and rough. Then what I want to do is search for a noise texture. We're going to drop it down here. And this noise is going to be the tiny little kind of surface bump over the paper. So I'll duplicate the bump node and drop it here. And with the bump selected, I'll hit the backspace, which is going to reset the values. Now let's take the mapping vector. I'll put that into the vector, the noise texture. And then we're going to take the noise texture factor and put that into the height value. Now let's go here to the noise texture, and I'll turn the scale up to like a 500. So it's very detailed. So a 500, and I'll turn the detail all the way to 15, and I'll turn the roughness to like a 0.55. And then this lacularity, I'll turn this to like a 3, and that's going to add like a little bit of a kind of a dots pattern. Now what I can do is go here to the bump, and I can play around with the bump distance, and I'm going to turn the distance to a 0.0002, and so that way it's going to be very subtle, but if I zoom in closely, there's just going to be a little bit of subtle texture over the paper. Then here for the roughness, I'm going to turn this up to a 1, so the paper is more rough. And for the base color, I'm just going to make it slightly darker so it's not a super bright paper. Now if I zoom out here, there's just one more thing that I want to do, and that is that I want to make the crumpled paper look just a little bit more soft, because it really isn't that soft right now. It's a little bit kind of chunky. So what I'm going to do is search for RGB curves, and we're going to put the RGB curves in between the multiply and the bump. Now if I click here to add a dot and then drag this dot up here, you can see it's kind of softening it and just rounding it a little bit because we're changing the color values. So I'm just going to drag it up like this so it looks just a bit more soft. So that is it for the procedural material. So let's now join it together into a node group. So I'm going to click and drag to box select all the nodes except the material output, and I'll hit Control G to join it together into a node group. So I'll hit Tab to go outside the node group, and I'll drag the node group over here, and I'll drag it out to make it bigger. Then I can copy the material name and paste it here into the node group. So it's called crumpled paper. Now I want to rename the BSDF. So with the node group selected, I'll hit Tab, and I'll hit the N key to open up the side panel. And if you go to the group tab, I'm going to double click on the BSDF and rename that to shader because I like that better. So now we can take this group input and we can plug up all the custom values to control those values outside of a node group. So the first value that I want to add is the scale. So we'll take the mapping scale, we'll put this into the extra socket. It's because this scale, this mapping here is connected to all the textures. So it'll change the size of the entire material. Now on the scale here, I don't want it to be 3 values for the X, Y, and Z. I just want it to be 1 value. So we'll take the vector type and turn it to float, and then I'll turn the default value to 1. We'll hit Tab to go outside the node group, and then I'll turn the scale to 1. So now that'll change the size of the entire material. So we'll go back into the node group. Then I want to control the roughness. So I'm going to drag this all the way over here to the roughness value. We'll put the roughness into the extra socket. Then I will control the base color. So we'll put that into the extra socket as well. And now what I want to do is control the noise randomize. So that's going to be controlled by the 2 W values. So I'll put these W values here into these extra sockets. And then I'll call this one noise randomize 1. And this one I'll call noise randomize 2. Then I want to control the scale of the noise, so I'll put both of these scale values into the extra sockets. And I'm going to call this one noise scale 1, and I'll call this one noise scale 2. And then we'll do the same thing for both detail values, so put those into the extra sockets. And I'm going to call this one noise detail 1 and noise detail 2. And then also the roughness values, we'll put those into the extra sockets. And this is going to be noise roughness 1 and noise roughness 2. Then the same thing for these distortion values. So I'll put both distortion values into the extra sockets. And this is going to be noise distortion 1 and noise distortion 2. You don't have to add all these values if you don't want to, but I do just want to make this very customizable if you want to just play around with the folds. Then I want to control the distortion strength, and so that's controlled by both of these factors here on the linear light. So I'll put both factors into the extra sockets. And I'll call this noise distortion strength 1 and noise distortion strength 2. Then let's take the randomize for the Voronoi, and that's these W values. So I'll put the W values both into new sockets. And so this is going to be Voronoi randomize 1 and Voronoi randomize 2. And then we're going to do the same thing for the Voronoi scales. So put both scales into the extra sockets, and then the same thing for both of these detail values. So I'll call this Voronoi scale 1, Voronoi scale 2, and we'll do Voronoi detail 1 and Voronoi detail 2. Then I want to control the paper surface scale. So if I drag the group input over here, we can put this scale into the extra socket, and we're going to call this paper surface scale. Then let's take the detail and the roughness and put both of these into the extra sockets. And I'm going to call this paper surface detail 1 and paper surface detail 2. Then I want to control the crumples bump strength, and so that's controlled by this strength value, so I'll put that into the extra socket. And then also this one here, that's the paper bump strength, so I'll put this strength into the extra socket. So the first one is going to be called crumples bump strength, and the second one I'm going to call paper surface bump strength. Let's drag the group input back here. I'll hit N to close the side panel and Tab to go outside the node group, and we can just review the material and check to make sure everything's working. So we have like the colors, we have the roughness, you can also change the size of the entire material, and then there's like the noise scale, there's also these roughness values for the noise, you can check the distortion, also the Voronoi randomize, the Voronoi scales, and the details. Then we have the paper surface. So if I zoom in really close, there's the details for the paper. And then there's also the crumples bump strength. So if you want to make the crumples really strong, you could like turn this up and make it look very crumpled, or you could just make it more subtle. And then there's also the surface bump strength. So that's how you create this crumpled paper material. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. And you can also purchase this material on my Gumroad store and Patreon page with the links in the video description. And you can also check out my ultimate procedural material pack if you'd like to purchase a pack with all of my procedural materials. And to learn how to create more materials, you can check out my Blender procedural material tutorial playlist. And I did also recently release a tutorial on how to create lined paper, so if you want to check out that video, I'll also have it linked in the description. So if you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.